This is an Xbox Series X. I still remember actually buying mine 4 years ago. They didn't have pre-orders set up at GameStop, so I ended up sitting outside the store in the cold for 5 hours before they opened with a bunch of Xbox fans. And the excitement was palpable. The hype, the intensity, people telling stories about how much they're ready to play Halo Infinite, people actually saying how much Gears of War and Forza and Fable impacted their lives. And it's interesting to think about how now, 4 years later, PlayStation is bigger than ever and Xbox is just dead. Now, I want to talk about this today because I think there's something kind of sad about what's currently going on. A lot of the biggest Xbox fans, the content creators, the passionate developers and stuff, there's been just so much negativity and pessimism. I think I understand why people enjoy cheering on Xbox. There's a lot of psychology that's well studied. It's written about in books like David Eagleman's Incognito and stuff about how the human mind, it loves the underdog stories. There's something so interesting about the person that shouldn't win actually fighting back. David versus Goliath, the weaker team winning the Super Bowl, stuff like that. So I've always thought that a lot of the Xbox fanboys, it is because of that. It's that they want to defeat big bad Sony. Yeah, okay, PlayStation's got more console sales and more exclusives and it's taken over Metacritic and stuff like that, but Xbox does have games. Xbox is about to be awesome. All you Sony ponies will be crying whenever we get our next big game. But now, Xbox is going third party. Every game that's currently being made by Microsoft is also coming to PlayStation, to PC, and a lot of them are even going to come to Nintendo Switch. And I think a lot of people are very much talking about either leaving the industry, selling their system and giving up, or going PC, or jumping over to Team PlayStation. And I want to discuss this today because I think their betrayal, their disappointment, I think it's all very valid, and I want to take a look at it because this is not a mocking standpoint. I do think that if you saved up and bought something like an Xbox, you actually preached the goodness of Game Pass, watching this all blow up, I understand your frustrations, but let's take a look at some sad tweets and kind of just discuss this whole mess. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please, give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. So I keep seeing stuff like this. When you finally break free from the shackles of denial and accept the inevitable fate of the Xbox console, and it's this monk from Wukong completely fading away. I've noticed a lot of the last Xbox fanboys started to say, okay, yes, the Xbox is kind of getting completely degraded, but it still has a content roadmap. I mean, PlayStation doesn't really do roadmaps. They just release lots and lots and lots of games. But this is one of the primary inspirations for this video because Cliobryle is a Twitter account that's very obsessed with Xbox in a positive sense. They hype stuff up. They're focused on the good times of Xbox. And even they, over the course of this last 6 months, have been getting increasingly pessimistic about the badness of Xbox. He's basically said, okay, if you're taking the tiny bits of Xbox exclusives and putting them on PlayStation, what's the point of Xbox at all? Why are you developing new consoles? Why are you marketing the Xbox console? I mean, at this point, what is Xbox without Xbox games? And he actually points this out. A lot of cool things from Xbox today, but with two baffling decisions. So there was a game called Towerborn that was initially advertised as an Xbox title. For years now, there's been trailers, there's been teases, it's on the roadmap of Xbox, and it turns out that it's not an Xbox game. It's coming to Steam Early Access, and it seems like once it comes out, it's just going to come to every platform. So it means that this game, which everybody believed is an Xbox exclusive, isn't. And now Indiana Jones, this feels like the primary piece of hatred. This feels like the main catalyst of people's anger and disappointment towards Xbox. Because Indiana Jones coming to the PlayStation 5, people seem to be specifically pissed about the idea that they announced the release date for Xbox and PlayStation 5 concurrently. They said, yeah, it's coming to Xbox and also the Sony system. And so people are like, okay, why not at least try to allow the game to be an official Xbox exclusive? Sell some consoles, sell Game Pass, be a pillar of the ecosystem, even for a period of time. Now, all of that is gone. I think that part of the reason that this is the big motivator for people to be abandoning the Xbox platform is because for a long time, Indiana Jones was that big move. This was going to be the game that was finally going to show the greatness of Microsoft. Their acquisitions, their studios, it was going to show why Xbox can come back, why the hype, the promises have finally been fulfilled. In fact, when I said that I wasn't very excited for Indiana Jones, people were making these GIFs. This is like a real video edit where I'm the bad guy in Indiana Jones. And they were doing that to be like, yeah, we are getting Indiana Jones and PlayStation isn't. But now it is. Now there really is no reason to have an Xbox. At this point, even if you love Xbox games, they're better on PlayStation. Now, I've seen a lot of people talking about the fact that it does seem like Xbox is broke. There was this quote from Phil Spencer where he said, Microsoft is setting a high bar for us in terms of delivery that we have to give back to the company because we get a great level of support from the company and we have to do what we're able to do. Essentially, what he's saying is that Microsoft is no longer messing around. The war chest was not unlimited, and so now, since they're buying stuff like Activision Blizzard, ZeniMax, which is Bethesda, numerous other studios, and putting them into Game Pass, they need to see those numbers coming back. They need to recoup their investment, or at least be on the path to do it. This means, honestly, Xbox has put themselves in a very unfortunate circumstance, because the idea has always been cheap games in massive bulk, right? Okay, so if you get one Game Pass subscriber, that's not a lot. 20 million Game Pass subscribers. Now we're getting better. 50 million, 100 million. That was an actual number that was being kicked around, which is that Game Pass, if it continues to make good exclusives at a good clip with a good schedule, people have to subscribe to it, either on PC or there was some rumors that maybe Game Pass would actually come to PlayStation or Nintendo Switch. I mean, I still heard some talks that maybe they're going to try and get Game Pass onto the Nintendo Switch, but the idea has always been, instead of selling you, 3 or 4 $70 games a year, they'd sell you a $25 subscription for 12 months out of the year and make, $400 per gamer. So that's a good concept, but now the math just isn't mathing. Right now, I think that Sea of Thieves is a big reason we're seeing the death of Xbox. This is one of the most successful homegrown Microsoft projects ever. I mean, people don't realize it, but Sea of Thieves has now been around for 12 seasons. It came out originally on the Xbox One. It's gotten updates, it's gotten patches, and now it's on the Xbox Series X as part of Game Pass, and it is massively, massively successful. And now they brought it to PlayStation and instantly sold 1 million copies, at least, which means that this was a $40 game. That means even if you got the normal edition, not even the upgraded special edition, not even all the microtransactions and stuff in the game, this made $40 million pretty much instantly the second they dropped it onto a more popular console. And I think Microsoft is starting to say, okay, how much did this instantly pay off? How much money do we instantly make back for the dev cost by releasing it to a community that actually buys games? This is more money than Game Pass. Like, how many Game Pass fans would this take to make $40 million? A lot. I think there's also a bit of pessimism because now the future of Xbox, I think Avowed looks good. There are some bad previews. Some people are saying Avowed looks kind of terrible. It's lazy and crappy. None of this seems exciting. Nothing about this demo makes me go, I can't wait for more of this. My point is the fact that now, even if you do love Avowed, or if you are excited for the fact that apparently the Starfield DLC is horror-driven and combat-driven, I'll be honest, I hate Starfield. I did not like the game at all. This DLC sounds incredibly freaking awesome. This is coming on September 30th to PC and to the Xbox. I'm going to play this, I'm going to review this, but I think a lot of people now in the back of their head are going, okay, when are we going to get Starfield Special Edition on PlayStation 5? How long until we see PlayStation 5 exclusive YouTubers actually reviewing Starfield on the PlayStation 5 Pro, and it runs better, it looks better, it is better on a better console? I think it's interesting because a lot of the most dedicated Xbox people, Paris wants a job at Xbox. He's been trying to get a job at Xbox for years, and I don't blame him, secure the bag, but he's been trying to spin this in a positive sense, saying, yeah, I'm not surprised. He says this no matter whenever Xbox does something bad, he goes, I'm not surprised. The timing of the announcement shows a clear expectations of timed exclusivity going forward. He's basically saying, look, Xbox bros, it's all going to PlayStation. A lot of these people are like, hey man, a clear expectations, maybe about as clear as mud, which is exactly par for the course of these rollouts. Some games will be timed exclusive, some will be day and date. Nothing is clear. What is crapping is a good gif. Look at this. Knew you'd change your tune. What do you mean a clear expectation, Paris? There's another slap in the face to Xbox fans. Doom is day one. None of this makes any sense. I think the biggest reason that a lot of people are annoyed is because the messaging isn't clear. Anybody's ever been in a toxic relationship with like a girl or a guy who constantly changes plans and flakes out, and suddenly they're super hot and passionate and you're rolling around in bed and then they disappear for a week or whatever like that. You know that it's not just frustrating, but it's exhausting. After a bit, you're like, man, I really got to find me a sane woman who will actually communicate. I'm starting to think that in a lot of ways, Xbox is that toxic ex. They're going to lie. They're going to gaslight you. They're going to say whatever it takes to actually get through that next big quarter and hopefully not completely tank the business. And I think that sucks. I do actually feel bad for a lot of Xbox fans. This needs to be said. The industry is always evolving. This isn't new. However, we should not conflate a big pivot by one platform as an indicator that the industry is heading in the same direction or degree of pivot. Each platform owner sits differently in the marketplace and caters to consumers who have different tastes. Essentially, in the most perfectly politically correct way possible, Brap here is saying, look, there have been rumors that perhaps PlayStation is going to experiment with putting games on Xbox. And from the very start, I have not even bothered talking about these rumors because they're obviously outlandish. Like, there is no way that PlayStation cares about porting stuff to Xbox. It's a smaller ecosystem with people that don't buy games, and I don't think that PlayStation is interested in putting anything on Game Pass, really. So, I think now, if you're waiting for Xbox to suddenly blow up, if you're waiting for Xbox to finally become the kings of the industry that you've always been promised, I think it's time to sell your system. I think that honestly, Xboxes are worthless at this point. Your sell value is going to be way, way, way lower than the $500 you paid for it originally. But even if it comes to saving up and buying some computer parts, getting a budget pre-built system, or buying a PlayStation 5, even a Nintendo Switch at this point, I think if your goal is to game, it's time to get a different system. But these have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts. I did press record, right? Okay, good. Thank you for watching this video. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And please keep dreaming. How weird is it? I literally have a stack of mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes and gravy, a stack of mashed potatoes and gravy in front of my record button. That is the most Texas thing I've ever said. We got some taters and gravy over there. Woo, boy!
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.